Hello YouTube University students, and welcome back to Opa's Garage. And in the garage today we're going to do a quick review on my new NOCO GBX155 jump box. Let's get into it. Okay, I'm not going to go into the whole unboxing thing, but as you can see, the GBX is for a 10-liter gas, 8-liter diesel. Now I'm sure if you watch any of my videos, you know that I've got several 7.3 power strokes, and so this should be plenty powerful enough to jump start one of my 7.3 power strokes. It comes with a little carrying bag. It comes with a charging port that you can use your cigarette lighter or a power port on your dash of your vehicle, and then it also comes with a charging cable that you can plug into a USB port. And then of course it comes with a owner's manual. Now as you can see, right here next to it, I have an old GB150. And I actually purchased this back in August of 2018 from my Mac tool guy. And it has worked great for me for all of these years. This is 2023, December 2023. So I've had it for over 5 years, and it has worked great, but I've noticed over about the past year that it doesn't work near as good. It doesn't seem to have near the power. That only stands to reason because, I mean, it's a rechargeable battery that's inside of here, so eventually it's going to lose its oomph, which is why I decided to go ahead and get me another jump box. And my original plan was to go ahead and get me another GB150 because I was very happy with this. There are a lot of features with this that are not available on this unit. And when I went to order another one of these, I was talking to my Mac tool guy about it, and I said, hey, can you get me another one? He had these, and he was talking about, you know, they were on sale, blah, blah, blah. When I bought this back in 2018, I paid $300 for it. I bought it from him, and he said that, you know, yes, it'll definitely do the job as far as jumping a completely dead 7.3 power stroke, where when you turn the key on and you turn on the interior light, you don't even get a glow from the interior light. This thing has jump started 7.3s that were completely dead, had no juice at all. So anyway, I wanted to get another one of these because there are some things that I like about this that are not available on this unit. And when I was talking to him about it, he said, well, the GB150s now, and I don't know if you can see right there, it says GB150, it says 12 volt, 4,000 amp. Well, the GB150s that they make now are 3,000 amp, and they do not have enough power to jumpstart a completely dead 7.3. So supposedly they have enough power to jumpstart a completely dead 6-liter, but the 7.3s take more juice, obviously. And so he talked me out of getting another one of these just because they don't make the 4,000 amp unit anymore. The GBX 155s are 4,250 amp. So anyway, this thing, when I bought it, it came with a little carrying bag, which I think is out in one of my trucks. It came with the 2 different charging cables, same thing. So these usually run right around $400, maybe a little bit more than $400. I caught this one on sale, so I went ahead and got it. But I want to go over some of the things, some of the differences between the two, and some of the things that I really liked about this that I wish they would have put on this unit. Okay, real quick before we actually go out and start messing around with vehicles and whatnot. Similarities. They both have, they're both about the same size. The GBX is just a hair bigger. They both have LED lights that you can turn on. When you turn the unit on, it tells you how much power. It's fully charged 100%. You turn the unit on, it tells you that it's fully charged 100%. They both have power ports, in and out power ports in the back that you can use them for like charging phone batteries and stuff like that. So the one thing about the GB155 that supposedly, and I haven't checked it out yet, this is supposed to charge much quicker than this. That's the one complaint that I had about this, was once you used it several times and you got down to where you were at 25% or 50%, you plug this thing in to charge it, you might as well plan on leaving it plugged in for about at least 12 hours to get it fully charged. Whereas supposedly when this is drained down to like 25%, you can plug it in, and I don't remember exactly what the full charge I want to say it's like 5 hours to get it fully charged back up to 100%. They both have an override to where if you do hook it up to a battery that has no juice and it doesn't sense that it's hooked to a battery, it won't kick on automatically. You push this button here and you hold this button and this light will come on, and it basically tells you that it's in override mode. Now it's actually providing 12 volts to the cables or to the clamps, because you're telling it that, hey, I need that 12 volts. So you can use it. I've actually used this before on my winch. I forgot my battery for my winch, and so I actually had it on my trailer and forgot the battery that I usually just bring along with me. So I hooked this up directly to my winch and hit the override, and it powered up the winch. One of the things that I don't like about this that I was reading in the owner's manual is that when you hook this up, you have 60 seconds to get in the vehicle and start the vehicle. After 60 seconds, it will shut itself down. Whereas this one, if you hook it up to a battery and you turn it on and you want to give it a little bit of time to charge that battery, I've had this thing on a battery before for 10 minutes. And like I said, I used it on my winch, and I winched a vehicle completely up onto my trailer, which probably took, 3 or 4 minutes to do. And this thing never kicked off, whereas this, I guess, after 60 seconds, it kicks off automatically. One of the things that a lot of people like is, I like these clamps. They open nice and big, and they clamp on really, really good. Supposedly, this clamp does open up just a little bit wider, and that's one of the features that supposedly a lot of people like. I actually think that this clamp looks a little chintzier than this one, but as far as the cable size look like they're about the same size. So one of the things that I don't like about this that I do like about this, and I'll show you when we get out there working on the vehicles, when you turn this one on, and it's not gonna, there is a display right there that's a voltage display. Let's go out and hook this up to a vehicle, and I'll show you what I mean and why I like that. Okay, so we're out here at one of my 7.3s, one of my plow trucks, and this is the old GB150. I've got the positive already hooked up. And you notice when I hook the negative up, that display tells me how many volts that battery has. It's got 10.5 volts. So you push this button right here, and those lights will start running across. And now it's telling me that it's actually charging the battery, and it has already jumped up to 11.6. So that's how much juice that the jump box is actually putting into the battery, I believe. Because let's see if I shut it off. Yeah, it goes back down to 10.7, 10.6. So anyway, I'm going to show you what I mean about as far as this thing doesn't have the power that it used to. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn it on, and then I'm going to get in the truck and I'm going to try to start the truck. And at 10.7 volts, this thing's got really, really weak batteries. I actually left the lights on so to run the batteries down. Now that's with this jump pack hooked up to it and trying to help jump it. I guess I should have showed you. I'll unhook the jump pack, and this is what it was doing without the jump pack on at all. So you can see that with the jump pack hooked up to it, I'll go ahead and unhook it. With this jump pack hooked up to it, it was at least cranking the engine over. Whereas without the jump pack, it wouldn't even crank the engine over. It was barely trying to turn at all. Now, we'll take the new GBX155, hook the positive, hook the negative. I got it all hooked up. I have no idea how much juice is in the battery because there's no digital display. And that's one of the things that I don't like about this is I don't even know if I've got, until I turn it on, I don't even know for sure if the connections are actually connected good. So you turn it on, just like the other one, as long as this is going back and forth. I'll go ahead and take the, if I take that off, see, it's not going, it's not sensing a battery. Put it back on there. Now it's sensing the battery. And now I'll go ahead and try to start it with that jump pack with the GBX155. Now, I didn't let the glow plugs run so that it would actually fire up. I just wanted to show you how much faster the engine would turn over with the new GBX155. And the GB150, when I first got it, that's the way that it worked, is as soon as I hit the key, it would start cranking that engine over really good and strong, just like what the GBX155 does. Now let me show you one other feature that I like about the GB150 with that digital display that you're not going to get with the 155. Now this is a truck that I picked up a couple weeks ago. And the one thing that I noticed, even though it's got fairly new batteries in it, it must have a parasitic draw, because if it sits for a few days, then the batteries run down. So, let's see if we can get, yeah, it's down to 11.8. Let's get set up here. I'm going to kind of zoom in on this, and I'm actually going to start the truck. So the truck is showing 11.8 volts, which is enough that it will probably, well, let me show you. I'll go ahead and show you. And this is what I'm talking about. This GB150, a truck like this that's still got some juice, but it's just not enough juice to crank it over long enough and fast enough to get it to actually fire up. So we got 10.5 volts, and I'll let it, let's see, you can see that real good. Okay, let's see if we can get her to start. Now it should take a second. Well, obviously this truck has got a little bit of a weak alternator, but if you notice, the voltage just jumped up from like 12.2 or whatever to 13.7. So what that's telling me right there is that's telling me that now that the truck is running, the battery is seeing 13.7 volts, which is also telling me that, hey, your alternator is at least working. The alternator is charging the batteries. With the GBX155, no digital readout. When you hook up the 155, you don't know how much voltage is in the batteries because it doesn't tell you, where this one tells you that. And then once the truck starts, you don't know if your alternator is charging, whereas if you've got the digital readout on like the GB150, it tells you that your alternator is actually working and it's putting charge into the batteries. So long story short, if I had my way, if I could get another one of these, I wish that NOCO offered to where I could take this and send it in and get it refurbished. I've done some research on that and haven't found any way to send this in to have it refurbished. Or if they still offered the 4,000 amp 150, then I would have bought another one of these as opposed to buying this, because I think that these are down to where you catch them on sale for under $350. But I think that that's just because they're the 3,000 amp instead of the 4,000 amp. But I would have gladly paid, you know, another $300 or even a little bit more to get another one of these that's a 4,000 amp as opposed to getting something like this, just mainly for that digital readout. Now the fact that this is supposed to recharge much quicker, yeah, that's all fine and great, but I would rather have the digital readout. Like I said, this still works as long as the truck still has some juice in it. It will actually, you know, get you fired up and get you home. This thing here, I'm probably going to have to carry a multimeter with me so that I can check and see, you know, does the battery have any voltage, which usually you can tell that just by hitting the key if it cranks over just a little bit or if it doesn't crank at all. But I needed another one, so this was the best deal. This was the one that was going to do the job. but I'm going to keep this thing around because it still has some life left in it, even after 5 years. And $300, 5 years later, I can't tell you how many vehicles that I've jump started with that, and it has never ever let me down. That's my review on the GB150 compared to the GBX155. I'm sure this unit is going to serve me well, and I don't regret buying it. But I really wish that they still offered the GB150 with the 4,000 amp, and even if it took longer, even if it took 12 hours to recharge it, I would rather deal with that than not having the digital display. So until we make another video, keep living your best life and get on out in the garage and fix something.